This is the Shaolin Temple. Located in the Hunan province in eastern China, the Shaolin Temple was founded in the 5th century AD by the Buddhist monk Baotuo.
Home to more than 70 monks, aspiring holy men begin their training at the temple as young as the age of 5. The temple is presided over by Shi Yong-sin. He's one of the most respected Buddhist leaders in the world, and he runs one of the most important martial arts schools in history. One that emphasizes the inner spiritual forms of Kung Fu as much as the outer fighting forms. Shi Yong-sin tells us that the original Shaolin monks were strictly thinkers, not fighters. And they often found themselves at the mercy of local bandits, who were after the temple's treasures.
That all changed in the 6th century with the arrival of an Indian monk named Bodhidharma. Bodhidharma taught the Shaolin monks how to balance their inner spiritual life with some good old-fashioned martial arts training. And he taught them how to use martial arts to ward off the bandits. But that was just the beginning of the temple's ancient fighting lineage. In the centuries that followed, 5 different dynasties fought for dominance of this vast country.
As empires fell and allegiances changed, the Shaolin Temple served as a sanctuary to fighters on all sides. The diversity of styles that were represented by these fugitives made the temple the most important site in China for the development of new mental and physical Kung Fu techniques.
I thought my 15 years of martial arts training was impressive, but with 15 centuries of martial arts history everywhere we looked, the Shaolin Temple was awe-inspiring. Just the place to immerse ourselves in Kung Fu before the big fight. But if we wanted to train like monks, we first had to look like monks. These robes symbolize the purity of the monk's dedication to Buddha and to Kung Fu. But we weren't just given the costume. We were also given the weapons. Thank you.
Weapons training has been an essential part of Kung Fu since Bodhidharma's arrival. The earliest weapons were simple but deadly. And the oldest of them is the Shaolin staff, or gun. We'd worked with sticks before in our Eskrima training in the Philippines. But the Shaolin staff is 3 times as long as an Eskrima baston, and 3 times as difficult to handle.
What's this?
Groin.
Yeah, you think about a groin someone? Go!
Grabbing it and going down. Swipe. Go. I wonder if any of this translates into empty hand.
I think so. It's visualization, it's technique. You meditate during the fight, and you only think about one thing.
Hitting your opponent in the groin.
That's right.
Other Shaolin training techniques were about getting inside your opponent's head, like working with the 9-ringed saber, or guandao. Monks first used the guandao in the 8th century to cut off the legs of their opponent's horses. The 9 steel rings attached to the blade were designed to produce a rattling, ghost-like sound that was said to have terrified the monks' enemies. This could slice and dice a whale. So you're using your foot to kick it up? Got it? Kick and then downward cut up. Blade facing up.
Blade facing.
I'm gonna stand away from you, buddy.
1. Okay. Man, that feels good. Feels powerful.
Oh, see, my Kung Fu is strong.
But the heart of the monk's training is the empty hand techniques Bodhidharma brought to the temple in the 6th century. The techniques are rooted in what he called animal styles. And they required the monks to be as much students of nature as they are martial arts.
There's the eagle style, which demands a fighter envision himself a bird of prey, swooping in for strikes to the eyes and throat. The snake, which is based on a philosophy of circular movements and quick strikes. And the praying mantis, which requires a fighter to keep his hands in a hook formation, mimicking the killer instincts of one of Mother Nature's most menacing creations.
But my favorite animal style is the tiger. This fast and efficient system is based on the tiger's pouncing movement. And fighters use a unique claw hand formation that concentrates all the power of the fist into the opponent's vital points.
With this tiger technique in Kung Fu, they actually hit the vital points and then they rip to make that pain even more intense. So instead of this or this, they actually take their fingers and come in. You feel that, Jason?
Feel it, Bill.
Other than their connection to the natural world, Bodhidharma's animal styles have something else in common. It's called Qi. Literally meaning life force, Qi is the energy within every individual. Bodhidharma taught the Shaolin monks that they can harness this energy through intense physical workouts.
That's why it's called 2 fingers in right there.
And meditative breathing exercises. This helps them arrive at a supreme mental state, a state where they feel no pain and have superhuman strength.
To find our own Qi, we had to prepare our bodies and minds for enlightenment. For the next several hours, we honed our Kung Fu forms, both external and internal, while balancing on river rocks. We pounded wooden pillars and punched through bags of beans. Training with the monks was not easy, but as we absorbed the pain, we felt our minds slowly opening.
The trick is, don't think about your legs. Concentrate on your Qi and lose all conscious thought.
This isn't just some ancient hocus pocus either. Modern medical research has proven that the meditative powers of Qi can lower the chemical byproducts of stress and pain and induce favorable, pain-free brainwaves. And the monks proved that beyond a shadow of a doubt with an exercise that involved one seriously focused monk and one seriously heavy metal bar.
That was cool.
I totally was waiting for him to just put it on his head and bend it.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, that's cool. He's going to bend some iron. However, he broke some metal. And this isn't like, it's thin, but this is heavy.
And that was just the beginning. Next, the monks showed us a jaw-dropping training technique that demonstrated just how much pain a fighter can withstand in the proper mental and physical state.
Wow, there's only 4 spears, dude.
That looks really painful.
Yeah, wow.
The position of the spears serves to support the monk and evenly displace his weight. But only a monk with years of training could withstand that much pain for that long. It's a perfect example of how the monks use Qi to align both their external and internal Kung Fu forms and accomplish feats most martial artists would deem impossible.
But no example of the power of Qi resonated quite like the story the monks told us next. In the 7th century, a battle broke out between the Tang and Sui dynasties. The Sui army had the upper hand until a Tang general who was a friend of the temple asked the monks for help. Using the techniques they had honed for centuries and the power of Qi handed down to them by Bodhidharma, just 13 Shaolin monks defeated the entire Sui army. Overnight, Kung Fu became the most respected fighting form in Asia, and the legend of Shaolin was born.
Working with weapons, practicing animal styles, and harnessing the power of Qi. The Shaolin monks have helped us complete both our physical and spiritual Kung Fu training.
But our strengthened bodies and enlightened spirits were about to be put to the test. Time to fight, whether we were ready or not.